being said, the reason that I'm being shorter than usual is that I would like to defer to the Dean of the School Committee and my friend Dave McGeady, who has a daughter graduating tonight. David?
Thank you, Mayor. This is a great honor. As you know, this is a very special day for me. My baby is graduating from high school. And I appreciate the great honor that the mayor and the committee have afforded me today. You know, when you've been on the school committee as long as I have, your fellow committee members start giving you special recognition. Like last year when they nominated me for a Lifetime Achievement Award. And I've learned that these honors are their way of saying, okay, Dave, you can go now. Actually, the mayor knows me to be a long-winded Irish guy, and I think in his infinite wisdom, he asked me to give this speech today because he knows that before the graduates leave the comfortable surroundings of their hometown school to begin their journey out into the cold and cruel world, they will need to be properly sedated. But regardless of the intent of the gesture, I'm so privileged to be addressing this graduating class of 2010, not so much as a member of the school committee, but as a parent. And in that capacity, I know I speak for all of the other parents out there today when I say, I love my graduate. And so, graduates, please forgive your parents if we're all a bit emotional on this day. Don't think less of us on this momentous occasion. If you look into our eyes and they begin to fill up with tears. Because, graduates, we honestly and truly have no idea how we're going to afford the 4 years of college. I'm kidding. It's probably going to be 5 or 6. I knew that going into this, that writing this speech wouldn't be easy because, unlike most of you, I didn't have the benefit of a high school education. Well, I did, but it was Bishop Fenwick, so I'm kidding. I'm sure a lot of bright people graduated from Fenwick, just don't go by me. So anyway, I figured I'd do some research and find out what advice other people gave to graduates in past commencement speeches, and I learned some pretty interesting stuff. For instance, there was this one guy named Aristotle, who I'm pretty sure belongs to the St. Facilius Men's Club, who said, education is the best provision for old age. To which I would counter, unless you had to cash in your 401k to pay the tuition. There was another fellow named, William Shakespeare, who wrote, we know what we are, but we know not what we may be. Boy, I can't imagine the guy made any living with writing that stuff, but here's one of my favorites, though. It's from Teddy Roosevelt, who said, a man who has never gone to school may steal from a freight car, but if he has a university education, he may steal the whole railroad. Oh, okay, I need to say 2 things here. One, that's a pretty strange point of view for any president of the United States who isn't named Nixon. And 2, I'm guessing that the Mount Rushmore Selection Committee were not aware of Teddy's point of view on education. So, obviously, it seems that the advice that others have given to graduates in the past has been pretty sketchy at best. And one of the things I was going to tell you all, for instance, was the key to success is individuality. But as I look out at the hundreds of you dressed in identical caps and gowns, that seems pretty inappropriate. I did think of one bit of good advice, especially for you really cool guys and girls, and that is be really nice to the geeks. Because I promise you, you're going to work for them one day. I guess that would have been better advice 4 years ago, but anyway, good luck. But you know, in the end, the graduates don't want advice from a commencement speaker. Like all graduating classes, they're mostly influenced by the words of their contemporary artists of their generation. And as always is the case, the parents don't always understand the message. Let me give you some examples and I'll try to interpret. In my generation, Bob Dylan, he asked the musical question, how many roads must a man walk down before you call him a man? How many seas must a white dove sail before she sleeps in the sand? How many times must a cannonball fly before they're forever banned? The answer is blowing in the wind. Now in these lyrics, Dylan was urging the youth of that day to rally against the Vietnam War. And today, this generation hears the immortal words of Stu Price, who poses the profound musical question, what do tigers dream of when they take their little tiger snooze? Do they dream of mauling zebras or Halle Berry in her Catwoman suit? Now, I think in these lyrics, Stu Price is telling you, if you're ever asked to throw a bachelor party for your best friend, a pretty awesome place is Las Vegas. Here's another example. When the Rolling Stones sang, I can't get no satisfaction when I'm driving in my car and a man comes on the radio telling me more and more about some useless information, Mick Jagger was telling my generation to be skeptical of the media and use your own intelligence to make decisions. And today, when the young children, graduates, hear the words of these song lyrics, Ra ra, ah ah ah, Rama Rama, Maha, Gaga ooh la la, want your bad romance. Now I'm not positive. I'm not positive, but I think Lady Gaga is saying, if Snooki in the Situation can become rich and famous, then the future is indeed bright for the rest of us. Now, popular movies speak to each generation as well. Oftentimes it's just a word or two. For instance, in the movie The Graduate, in my generation, one word of advice was uttered to Dustin Hoffman upon his graduation, plastics. And recently, from the movie Juno, audiences were encouraged to dream big. Well, as you can plainly see, I have no profound words of wisdom that'll make your journey through life any less bumpy. That is maybe to say, you should embrace the bumps. They can't be avoided, and it's the rough ride of the smoothly paved roads that often takes you to the most beautiful places. And now, for the two most anticipated and greatly appreciated words in every commencement speech, in conclusion. Today, your families are extremely proud of you, graduates. You cannot imagine the sense of relief and approval they are experiencing. This would be a most opportune time to ask them for money. May God bless the city, USA, and the entire Peabody Veterans Memorial High School graduating class of 2010.
Please join me